All right. Afternoon, everyone. I am just seeing if everything pops up on the other side here so I can double check that I am online. And just seeing, going back. Ah, there we go. Yes, I am. Cool. Okay, so I'm gonna make this just, there we go. Okay. And turn off the volume over there. Okay. Looks good. Looks like I'm on. I'm not all centered. I don't know, I can't seem to get my my mats in the right place. Every time I put my phone in, it seems like I'm in a different location. Anyway, well, everyone, happy Sunday. Hopefully today I will get through a full 2-page layout today. I did a bunch of prep work, and normally I don't get a chance to do that on Sundays because Steve ends up saying, hey, let's go do something in the morning, and so I don't get as much prep work done. But today he is on a flight back to Hawaii, and so I actually got most of the day to do some prepping. And today what I wanted to do was work with the stamp of the month. So the stamp of the month this month is called Tutti, Frutti Summer. And actually, it sort of reminds me of a Disney trip that I took with my friend Allison years and years and years ago. We went together and we got Mickey ears, and we convinced them to write hoity-toity and riffraff on those, and so the Tutti Frutti kind of reminded me of the hoity-toity and riffraff. Anyway, it was over the summer, and so it was kind of fun. Anyway, so this is a bunch of summer sayings, things like summer, love you very much, your grape, hello, using the lemon, fun in the sun, relax, shine, sunshine, etc. So again, a really fun summery kind of stamp set, and we're going to build a layout that is going to use some distressed oxide inks. Actually, there's going to be a lot of actual techniques in this particular layout. I didn't realize it when I was looking at it that it would have quite so many techniques in it. So we are going to try and get through as many of them as we can. So anyway, so this is Tutti Frutti Summer, and we are going to get going. The pictures I picked for this were pictures from a long time ago, 2007. The girls playing in front of the house eating, and I believe this was one of Amelia's first popsicles. So she is obviously making a huge mess out of herself. And in her red cherry gingham outfit there. So anyway, I thought these would be really fun for this particular stamp set. The other things that I wanted to point out that I'm using in this particular layout are going to be, again, White Daisy cardstock. We're going to use linen as the base, and if you remember last week, I showed you how to gut a piece of paper so that you don't have to waste it, and also it reduces the amount of bulk in your scrapbook. So I've done that. So this is linen, White Daisy, and then I have, underneath that, I have the mix-ins for this month. So this month's mix-ins I showed you when we did the Wander layout, but I am using the other set, the set that's down here at the bottom, that has the peach, the sage, and the linen over here. I'm using those on this layout. So again, utilizing those mix-ins to help me with this layout. And so the mix-in is being used as the paper behind the pictures. So that's the stripe that has the flower pattern on the other side. And then I have used this pattern here, the sort of swipes of peach. I've used that to be one of the strips in this particular layout, and the other side is just a solid peach. Okay. All All right, so I'm going to put my pictures off to the side, and we're going to talk about using distressed oxides. So this is going to be we're going to use a bunch of strips of paper, which I will talk about in a minute. But the first thing I need to do is I need to prep for this layout on the second side. So I did the left side already, where you see that I have these distressed oxides, and I am using a bunch of different ones. I am using spice marmalade, I'm using mustard seed, I'm using pickled raspberry, I'm using abandoned coral, I'm using seedless preserves, and a little bit of mowed lawn. So again, pretty much every color that we have, but I was trying to get sort of this rainbow effect. I did practice this before I actually did it on my paper, just to kind of play around and see, did I like these color combinations? So I just took a piece of white daisy and I practiced a little bit, and then I came over to my actual page of paper. The reason I did this is that you need to let it sit for a little bit to dry. These take a little bit longer to dry. You'll also notice that I have these splotches, and that's from doing a little bit of water on it. So I needed to set that to dry. So with that, I am also going to do that on the right side. Left, right? Yep, the right side. This piece of paper has been cut down by 1/4 of an inch. So I took 1/4 of an inch off of this piece in order to be able to back it with that that linen cardstock. So they're going to be layered on top of each other. All right, so how am I going to start this? So the first color I'm actually going to start with is actually going to be this picked raspberry color, which is quite pink. And there's a couple of different tools that you can use. This tool is a dauber type tool that has pieces that go on top of this, and then you can use it like this. Now, I happen to have these already in my inventory and had already started using them, and before I got those other pieces, so that's why you see, that's why I'm using these, because they were already pretty much inked up. These are a pigment dye-based ink, and so they're more chalky, or more, they sit on top of the paper versus sinking into the paper, I guess is the best way. And so when you go in, you want to use a very light hand. You're not going to need too much, so I'm doing a very light hand. And because I'm doing this on the paper, I'm not going off the side or anything like that. I'm also going to do a light hand when I come in to do my transfer of the ink. So I've only picked up a little bit, and then I'm going to lightly come in a circular motion, and I'm not going to press too hard to start with. It's better to go light and add layers on top, so that way you know that you're not too heavy-handed with this. And I don't have nearly enough, so we're going to pick up a little bit more. Again, circular motion, and we're going to just come in and then just start pressing a little bit more firmly as we kind of see the color coming off of the brush. And it's always easy to go in and get more. It's harder to take away. So again, that's why I'm sort of starting lightly, and then I will go in and add more. And the more that you blend this, the more, as you see, as we add more colors, the more that you will see the colors blend together and become really fun sort of coloring for this layout. So as I said, I'm doing a bit of a rainbow here, a bright rainbow. I'm going to get a little bit more color here. And I did, I got some big splotches right there, but that's okay. The more that you move the brush around, the more that you blend it, the more those circles will go away. All right, so I'm going to stop there with that one, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some seedless preserves. So Seedless Preserves is the more purple tone. So I'm just picking up a little bit of that, and I'm going to go in at the top of this pink, and I'm going to start blending that in. And again, the more that you blend, the more that you rub, the more color you're blending in. Sorry, I forgot to mention that we might have that little accident. I got a new light because I don't get a lot of light in this room, and I wasn't thinking I was getting enough, and I got this great light that's really bright, but it's super top heavy. It's tiny, and I don't understand why it's so top heavy, but it is. So I'm going to set that back. I meant to say something before it actually fell. That it might fall. All right. So again, going in and getting a little bit more of that purple. And it's really just about blending until you like it, right? There's no right or wrong with this. It's just blending until you like it. And again, I can come in with the pink and I can blend a little bit more there. And then just come back with the purple. And the more that you push, the more that you blend, the more this will merge together. All right, so I think I'm pretty good with that color. So that was the picked raspberry and the Seedless Preserves, and I might come back to that again. The next one I'm going to use is Abandoned Coral. And that's going to go under the pink, or the picked raspberry. Again, I've just picked up a little bit of this, and I'm going to go in and I'm going to start blending this into that picked raspberry color. So maybe just a little bit more down here. There we go. Cool. All right. All right, so I like that. So my next color that I'm going to do is the Spiced Marmalade. So that's this orange color. Again, picking up a little bit and then coming in and starting to blend in with that coral color. I need a little bit more. Yeah, I still need a little more. This is not, didn't have enough left on my brush from the last time. Again, I didn't clean my brushes between doing that first layout, or first side of the layout to this one. Okay, you want to make sure you're getting in there and you're blending so that you have, you don't have distinct lines. You're really trying to, create a flow on this where it looks like everything is blended together. And that's one of the beauties of this ink, is the ability to do that. Oh my gosh. I don't understand why this is not staying. It's super heavy, obviously, at the top end. So we're going to do that. Sorry, I have to pick something up because it knocked over something that I need. There we go. Knocked over my stamp. We'll leave that out here for now. Okie doke. All my prep work and everything. Okay, let's see, which color was I using? I think I was using the Abandoned Coral. And I was trying to do this. Trying to blend this a little bit more. Sorry, my light's not going to be nearly as good. I'll have to figure out another way to use that lamp, since seems not to be behaving itself. Okay, I'm going to do, now I think I'm going to stop there with that one. Okay, so I want to do mustard seed next, and then I can always go back and do more of the spice marmalade. So this one, this pad is super duper wet, so I don't want to grab too much because of the way this pad is got ink. And I might just take another piece here. There we go. So I can get some of that off. And again, just trying to do some blending here into that marmalade. And hopefully I'm staying on camera here. Okay, I'm going to grab just a little bit more, but again, going to wipe off a bunch of it. There. All right, so I'm actually going to go in with some more marmalade here and try and blend those two together a little bit more. All right, looks pretty good. Let's see. Just trying to see if I got any more blending I want to do. Any more kind of harsh lines that I want to get rid of. That looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're just going to do a dab, and I just mean a little bit. We're just going to do a little bit of the mowed lawn sort of down here at the bottom. Again, I don't want to make blue. I don't want to have a blue color, but I just want a touch of green sort of down here at the bottom to mimic. And we're going to be doing a rainbow up the side of these layouts, and that's why I'm kind of doing what I'm doing, because those are the colors that are going to be part of it. Okay, so there we go. Pretty happy with that. And again, the reason we're doing this first is because we need to allow these a little bit of time to actually dry before we put our layouts together. So, all right. So we're going to now do the next step, which is, as you can see, they've kind of got a shine to them, or they kind of have a sparkly to them, but they react with water. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take my a little spray bottle that I have, and I'm actually going to spray these, and this is going to react. So where I've got little sprays, it's going to create little droplets. Where I've got bigger sprays, it's going to react, and it's already starting to do that. Hopefully you can see that. It's already starting to react. And so again, this is why I wanted to do this piece first, so that we could have this react, and it could get all dry before we moved on to the next step. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I am going to bring back my one that I already, the left side, and we're going to start working on this. So as I said, I gutted this piece of linen cardstock just like we did last week, and I am going to adhere these two pieces together. So I'm going to just take my Tombow adhesive here, and I'm going to run it around the edge of this gut. Again, being pretty liberal with my adhesive so that I can utilize, or I can make sure it sticks really well. Remember, I wet this paper, so it is bowed a little bit, unlike the other paper that we used last week, which was, you know, thinner paper as well when we put it on top of this gut that we did. So I want to make sure that I have plenty of adhesive so that I can make sure that I've got this adhered down well. So I'm actually doing a second row of adhesive kind of in the spaces, trying to make sure I don't get too close to the edge so that I'm not going over where my reveal is, but just trying to get enough so that I know that that cardstock is going to lay down as flat as I can possibly get it. And again, it's going to be in an album, so it could very well not have a problem just because it's going to be sitting in an album with some weight on it. But again, just trying to cover my bases in these corners a little bit just to make sure. Okay, so there we go. So now we're going to put this down on top of this, and the reveal is quite small on this. The reveal is only about 1/8 of an inch or so. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm kind of getting it evenly across. It's a problem when you use a lot of adhesive, it sticks well. Sorry. Try and get this. Okay, let's try this again. So we're going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to try and roll myself up to the top. And again, remember my paper is a little bit warped. I didn't quite get an even reveal on that one, but okay, we're gonna live with it. This is where it would have gutting it, having a solid piece of paper might have been a little bit easier, but I'm okay with it. And we're just gonna bend that a little bit. Okay. The other thing that we are going to do is we need to do a line. And the reason I'm doing this to start with and doing it now before I do any other steps is that I want to, just checking, I want to have it here because I'm going to be having a bunch of paper laying on top of this. So if I do it now, I won't have anything in my way. When you're doing these lines, pulling towards yourself is going to give you more control than going away from yourself. And what you want to do is you want to put the pen down and try not to pick it up. And you want to try and come down in a smooth, clean motion as much as you can, looking ahead of the pen, not looking at where the pen is, but looking ahead of the pen. And that will hopefully help you keep a fairly straight line. Now, I also don't mind if it wiggles a little bit. I think that's fine. But if you don't like that look, or if it's too wiggly for you, you can always do a second line on top of it and purposely wiggle it the second time. And that will make it look like you meant to do it. All right. And we're going to come around one more time. Okay, there we go. And I just used the 0.3 pen to do that. All right, I'm going to just take a quick drink of water. It's warm in my room today. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build on the right-hand side of this a rainbow. And I've got 1-inch strips of paper here. I've got a patterned paper. I've got another patterned paper, which you can't, it might be a little bit hard to see, but hopefully you can see the pattern there in the yellow. This is from an old paper pack. And this is one of those layouts that's great for using up scraps. So if you've got a bunch of scrap pieces of paper, this is a perfect kind of layout to use because it is using up those scraps and is, is creating this really cool kind of rainbow effect. Okay, so I am missing one of my colors. Hold on. Hold. Why am I missing? I was sure I cut that. Did I not? Maybe I didn't. Okay, well, there we go. Here's my demonstration for cutting these pieces of paper. I missed cutting one of them. My evergreen paper. So I am going to be cutting a 1-inch thick piece of paper, and so I am using the right hand side of my trimmer like I've showed you before. So I'm coming down that 1-inch side of my trimmer here, making sure I'm lined up, and then cutting that, and that's all I'm going to need out of this piece of paper. My second cut for this is going to be a 6-inch wide piece, and then I'm going to actually cut the second 6-inch wide into 2 3-inch wide pieces. So I'm going to put that one aside. We're not going to use that one on this side. It goes on the opposite side. But, whoops. There we go. So I've got my pieces of paper now. Okay, so now we're going to start laying these out. And we're going to start with, and you can remember our paper is 2-sided, right? Front, back, dark, light, true, light. Okay, so I'm going to start laying these out, and I'm going to start with the greens. So I'm going to do my greens. I'm just laying these out right now. So my yellows, we're going to do that yellow. I've got a little strip, and I actually made this strip using a white gel pen. More to come. We have gel pens in our new catalogs coming out soon. Shh, I'm not supposed to say anything. I don't know what I got on this little piece of paper, but I got something there. Okay, and now we're going to do red and peach. That. And I think I'm going to do that side. Just double check. Yeah. There we go. All right. Okay, that's not 6 inches. Is my other one 6 inches? Did I cut these wrong? That's 6 inches. This one's a little bit long. Okay, we'll use that one on the other side. All right, so what I'm just trying to do is I'm trying to lay these out. So we've got a little bit of spacing, but not too much. And then we're going to take a couple of these pieces and do something with them as well. So the first piece we're going to do is we're going to take this evergreen, and we're actually going to do our stamp. We're going to stamp on this piece. So we are going to stamp relax on this piece of evergreen. So I'm going to take that off of my carrier sheet. And I'm going to just slide this over a little bit, and I'm going to grab my 1-inch block. It actually will fit on there just straight because it's a little word. Try and get that straight. Okay, and we're going to take and we're going to just stamp across the top here. And we are going to use our evergreen ink. So same color. So this is tone on tone stamping essentially is what we're doing here. Like I said, lots of little techniques in this particular one. Okay, season that up on my hand, and then we're going to go in, and literally we're just going to go at the top of this, and we're just going to right next to the top, we're just going to stamp. And this is going to create this tone on tone. on this particular piece. Since we have this out, we're also going to need to do this on the other side, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this one, whoops, while I'm here. There we go. And we'll clean that up. That way that one's done. Okay, so we did relax. The second one we're going to do is sunshine. Again, sunshine is right here on the stamp. This block is too small for that, so I'm going to grab my bigger block and I'm going to put, there is a line on our blocks, and if you find the line, which sometimes is hard to see, I don't know if you can see it, but you can line up a stamp on that. All right, so that was our evergreen. The piece up here is sangria. So I'm going to grab my sangria ink pad, and again, same thing, we're just creating a word across the top. And so sunshine. Across the top here. Oops, that one went a little bit high. And I'm going to find my other sangria piece and do the same thing. Okay, so those two pieces are done. And we can put that back here. And this goes there. And I don't need sangria again, so I'm going to just put that one away so I don't have any more. I don't have anything there. Clean up my block. All right, that's done. That can go over there. Okay, so now we can bring this back over. All right, the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to do some tearing. And I'm going to take this green piece and I'm going to tear it. Now, I want to use both sides or both colors of my cardstock. Remember, light and dark. And I want to show the white core because that's one of the cool things about our paper. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to put the light side up and the dark side down because I want to see the core of the dark. So I'm going to face it away from me and I'm going to tear away from me as well. And I only want a little bit, so I'm going to come to the far right of this piece and I'm going to start tearing. And I can control the tear when I do it away from me and when I put my fingers close together where I want that tear to happen. So by doing this, I did it the wrong way, but we will make it work. It will be fine either way. I should have gone to this side instead, but that's okay. We'll make this work. So I'm just tearing away from myself here. And as you can see, by keeping my fingers close together, I get a pretty controlled tear. Okay? And so I've got the light side there, and then I have the dark side here. And I actually wanted it the opposite way, but this is fine. It will work just fine. All right, so we've got that tear, and so I'm going to lay these pieces on top of each other so that the tear part is up. All right, I'm going to do that same thing with the with this piece of nectarine, and this time we'll do it the right way. I'm going to come down this side. Again, I've got the dark side down and the light side up, and I'm just trying to do a controlled tear here. You can do it by just tearing towards yourself and seeing what happens, but when you're trying to do these small pieces, it's doing a controlled tear is a little bit better because you have a little bit more control over how big that piece is versus how small it is. So that's more of what I wanted. So there we go. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to, we are actually going to need another piece of peach, I think, for what I wanted to do here. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Again, I want the dark side to be the side that has the tear or the white, and I need a small piece of it, so I'm going to go and I'm going to tear like this. Same thing. So like I said, this particular layout is full of techniques. Okay, and we are going to put the dark side on top of this one here. Okay, on top of that one. All right, now we can start adhering things down. Now that we've got all those pieces torn. So I'm going to start with my evergreen here at the bottom so I can anchor it, and then I will set the pieces on that. So I want to come in, and this is where I could pull out my Versamat, and I could measure this, but I'm going to go ahead and just eyeball right there, and that will be close enough. Okay, so now I'm going to do this next piece. So again, get my adhesive on here, and we're going to keep it even, but we're going to create just a small reveal. We don't need too much. We only want about 1/8 of an inch there. Trying keeping it straight. All right, and then we're going to lay this smaller piece on top of that one we just laid down, and we're going to cover up the white. So again, we're trying to be efficient in using our paper and not using too much paper as well. But we also can get this two-toned look by doing that. All right, so now we're going to do our yellow piece. And all we're trying to do is create visual and textural interest by doing this. So, you know, obviously we've got plain cardstock, or not plain, but colored cardstock. And the idea is, you know, with putting in this piece here that's got that UV coating on it, we're giving some texture, but not overwhelming the amount of texture that we're using, because we are using a lot of colors. Okay, so we're going to put that guy down. As I said, this one I just used the light side of our nectarine, and I took a white gel pen and I made those lines. And this piece is a narrower piece. This is a 1/2 inch piece of cardstock that I used here. And then we're going to do the same thing that we did on that green piece. We're going to lay down the bigger piece first, and then we are going to, you notice I'm not pushing down too hard, just in case I need to move things around. I am just sort of laying things down, but I'm not trying to lay down too hard or press on it too hard, just in case I need to pick something up and move it around. Again, want to just lay this to cover up that white. And now we got our red. And I think I'm going to need to cut one more piece, because I believe my peach, since I just used it, is not... I need another piece of peach, which I did put that particular one away. this to be 6. I'll put that over there. Okay. So this piece I'm going to move out of the way. I feel like I have not spaced my things out well enough here, so we're going to move things around just a bit. I think I've got it a little bit. I'm going to start here at the top, and we're going to make some adjustments here. Get my sunshine going the right way. Just trying to make sure I've got it looks like I needed to make my spacing just a bit bigger here. This one. And that is why I did not push down too hard, so that I could lift these up if I needed to do that, which I obviously did need to do. Again, still not pushing down, though obviously as I'm trying to get these pieces off, I am pushing. So if you're trying to remove something that's got adhesive on it, it's easier to remove it if you come in at it at an angle. So if you're pulling at an angle, that is going to give you the least resistance in removing that adhesive, and will also reduce the risk of tearing the paper. So if you can pull slightly down to the right or slightly up to the left, that's going to hopefully cause you not to have too many paper tears. And it still looks like I might need a little bit more. I feel like we probably could have used one more color shorter or narrower piece, but I think what we'll do is we're going to try and just give a little bit more spacing here. Probably would have been better for me to find the middle and start from the middle and then go up and go down. So if you're watching this and you're looking at it, starting with that, probably with this piece here, this small piece, starting there with putting that straight in the center, that probably would have been a better option. Okay, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm going to put this piece down next. Right, and then we'll put this piece down. And we're going to put this piece on top of it. Again, creating pattern and interest with this. Still only getting one side done. I had so much prepped. Okay, so now we can push things down because they're in their spots where they're going to be. And we can do a couple of additional things. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp on this side. And the thing that we are going to stamp is this summer with these little splash marks. So I'm going to get out my bigger block. And we are going to put our summer on that bigger block. And I'm going to grab that splash mark, and we're going to put that, well, you know what, we'll do the splash marks second because we're going to have to stamp that twice. We're going to grab, ooh, shoot, okay, I know where I'm putting a few sparkles. Okay, so this summer we want to stamp right in the middle, right in the middle of this. And we are going to use our intense black ink for this. So I'm going to grab that. I am going to season this up and go ahead and ink that up. And I want to make sure it's inked up nice and juicy because it is a solid stamp. And I want to make sure I get a good impression. Okay, so I'm going to roughly find the middle. Oops, I already see where I have some ink that will possibly get on my layout, so I'm going to clean that up. Make sure that I don't do that. Looks like I got some there too. Okay, do that. Okay, so roughly get to the center. And I'm going to give this some pressure, and I'm going to leave it here because, again, this is a dye-based ink, and it is going to be sitting on top of these distressed oxides, which don't sink into the paper. So I want to make sure that I'm giving this stamp the best option of getting the most ink on top of those distressed oxides. All right, there we go. And just cleaning up that stamp and putting it away. And then I'm going to grab those little splash marks. And again, we're just going to add this as accent to the summer here. And over by the S over here on this side. Oops. There we go. Okay. So that was the first thing. Now we could do some additional stamps if you wanted to. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to just leave the summer there. But you could say, love you very much, or you're grape, or hello. So you could add some additional stamps there. But I think I'm going to leave it just like that for my layout. And then I've got my pictures. So these are two of the pictures of this front yard event. And I am going to get my 3D foam tape, and I'm going to pop that up on top. And then we're going to get out a few other things. So we're going to go ahead and put this on, and we're going to get some sequins, and we're going to do some sequins on this as well. And then we're going to move over to the right side of this layout. Okay, there we And I'm going to just sort of find a good center spot for this. Put that down. Okay, so our sequins. Now, I went to my sequins drawer and I've got silver sequins and I've got these old crafty sequins. This is a retired sequence group or set, and so I am just going to see, because I kind of liked the colors and how it might play with this particular layout, and I'm always fearful in opening these that I might spill them. So I'm just going to kind of lay out a few of these and see if I can pick up some of these. Let me grab my tweezers. I think that's going to be the best. So I've got this color here, which I thought would look really nice on here. Oops, did I lose some of my light? Oh yeah, see, that's really pretty. So I'm going to create kind of a grouping of sequins, and this is a pink that will go nice, and then maybe grab a silver here. I don't know that I want that star. That goes over here. Okay, and then again, you're trying to create clusters. You're trying to create your eye movement, and so okay, there's these white ones. These might work. Why am I think I've got glue on my tweezers. And then there's these gold ones. I'm really kind of liking all these colored ones. Oh yeah, that looks nice. Maybe a bigger gold one down here. I'm just trying to lay them out and see, what do I want to do. Ugh, they're sticking to my fingers. And I don't really like that one. Do I like that one better? No, I don't like that one. Okay, I think I'm going to stick with either white or clear. Okay. So I'm going to try and create a triangle. So I've kind of got a cluster here and a cluster here, but I need like a third cluster. So I think I'm going to come down over here. And again, going back into these crafty ones, I think I might grab that guy and just seeing if I can find another. I don't think these green ones will work. I think they're too aqua color. Grab white. There. And maybe grab one of these gold ones again. Just trying to see if I like that cluster. I don't really like that. Let's go grab, maybe we'll grab the silver or the clear for over here. Nope, clear doesn't work. And this is why people on their YouTube videos do this offline and then speed it all up so that you don't have to watch this. But since nobody is on today, I might just run long so I can finish it. Okay, so I think these are a little too low, so we're going to move these guys up a little bit more, because I think it's too low, too far away from the summer. It feels like they're not anchored. So I think that's what we'll do there. And then I'm not really liking that cluster very much. So maybe what we'll do is I stamped these guys. I think maybe what we'll do is we'll do that instead and create a little bit of a cluster over here with these pieces. And again, these just came again from the stamp set. This strawberry, and then I colored in this watermelon here. So those are part of the stamp set. All right, I think we're gonna go with that for right now. And I may come back and do some more embellishments later, but for right now we're gonna leave it at that. Okay, so we're gonna put the sequins away and we're gonna get out our glue dots. And so again, we're just gonna pick it up and put it on our glue dot and put that down. Do the same thing with each one of these. I'm just putting it on the glue dot carrier and then picking it up, placing it. That one, that glue dot is a little bit big for that sequence, so we're actually, darn it. Okay, so how am I going to fix that? I'm going to take my raspberry and we are going to put a bigger sequence over that boo-boo that I just made. Because I tried to pick it up when I used a glue dot, which is very, very sticky. I tried to move it when I shouldn't have. So we'll just take another sequence and pop it on there and no one will know. Okay, so I'm going to do these bottom ones here. So I think we'll take those guys and we'll leave that for now. And then I'm going to use thin 3D foam tape. Yeah, thin 3D foam tape and pop up these little guys here. And we've created a 3D a triangle for our eye to follow. So, right, we've got this triangle for our eye to follow. I do have this little blender over here. I might have to figure out how I want to fix that. Because I got a little bit of ink here that doesn't belong there, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I will figure that out. But okay, there's side one. So this other one should be done now, so it should be dry enough for us to work with. I am going to go ahead and gut this side as well. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it in at 1 inch. I'm going to drop my blade down at 1 inch on my ruler here, and I'm going to come down to the 11 inch on the ruler. And then I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to put it in at 1 inch. Again, start at 1 inch on my ruler and come down to 11. Lift, turn. Do this again. 1 inch. Down to 11. And then one more time. 1 inch down to 11. And now we have our paper that we can save to use for something else, and our piece that we can now use for our second part of the layout. Okay, so my adhesive is right here. Let's go ahead and put that on. And essentially we're going to mimic kind of what we did on the other side as far as putting the strips of paper on. So we're going to do the exact same thing. The only difference is where we're going to put our pictures, and we're going to do some additional stamping on this side. That's a little bit different from the other side. So again, just trying to make sure I get those corners nice and good. And again, I'm going to start at the bottom and try to keep my reveal even as I move the paper up towards the top. Oh, that one was much better this time. And we'll adhere it down. And you can see those water splotches that we got. We got some big ones, we got some little ones. Looks really cool. All right, so now we're gonna do that same paper layering that we did on the left side, on the right side. The difference is that we're going to be using shorter pieces of cardstock. So it's the exact same thing. Again, remember we stamped that. Oops, we didn't draw our lines. Hold on, let's draw our lines. So again, we're going to start and pull towards ourselves, putting the pen down, trying to look ahead of where I want the pen to go. And then picking it up at my stopping point, rotate the paper, drop my pen, pull towards myself. I got a little bit thick there, but that's okay. And then continuing to do that on all four sides. All right, that's done. Okie doke. So we are going to do the same thing that we did on the last layout. We are going to grab our pieces of paper and we are going to lay them out. So we've got our green, yellow, hold on, just double checking I've got this going the right way. Yep, okay, that's good. I would want it to match. Oops, that piece is too long. Why is that piece too long? Am I missing a piece? Huh. Okay, we'll have to cut this piece down. This piece is too long. These are 3 inches, so these are half the size of the other ones. So just as a heads up on that. Okay, so then we've got that. So those 2 pieces are, oh wait, here we go. These guys. Right there. Okay. All right, and these are all my extras. Okay. Oh, here's my shorter red. Where's my shorter? Okay, that must be my shorter pink or peach. Okay. Now, these are going to be on opposite sides of each other. So it's going to look like this. I do want to kind of be close in matching here, but the reality is I probably won't be able to match this up that closely just because of the fact that they're not, you know, side by side. But what I am going to do is I'm going to lay these sort of together here, and I'm going to give myself enough room actually on this side. And if I can go like this, I might be able to get everything kind of matched up. If you can see what I'm doing. This piece we have to cut to 3 inches. So we'll do that. So again, I'm trying to keep it straight, and then I can line these guys up, hopefully, and make it all work out. And there is a reason why I'm leaving a big gap here on the right-hand side. Essentially, whoa, is this too long? This looks too long. Yes, this is too long. Okie dokie, there we go. That. I'm going to cut this guy to the 3 inches. I think I can make that work, but we'll see. Okay. All right. Okay. See, everything got moved around again because I'm playing around with stuff that I shouldn't be playing around with. Okay. Trying to make sure that's all lined up. And the other thing we need to do is we need to do our tearing. So again, we are tearing, and I want to tear dark side down, light side up, and I'm going to tear on the far side to the left of this because I want the dark piece. Actually, I probably shouldn't have done that way because it will now be opposite of what I have on the other side, but we'll make that work as well. I think I'm going to take my other piece that's 3 inches. This isn't quite 3 inches. I'm going to do it the way I did it, just so it matches up, because that will bother me when I look at it later. I'm not that ADD, but I'll notice it, and I'll go, why did you do that, Liz? Okay, dark side down, tear on the right side of this. Okay, so that is that piece. Then we're also going to tear that piece that I just cut, and I'm going to tear on the left side. Okay, so that's going to go like that. And then this peach piece, I want the dark side. So let's see if I can make this work. I think I can. Yes, that worked. Okay. All right. So now that we've got that, we're going to just make sure that we're all lined up again here. And I'm going to find my adhesive, and we're going to start laying these guys down. And we're going to use our other side as our guide. It's kind of like cooking. Get all the prep work done, it goes fast, but you got to get all the prep work done, and that's what takes a long time. This one's kind of crooked. Alright, we'll leave it like that. Okay, do we have the dark side? Okay, good, good, good. trying to keep everything lined up here. Okay, so that's dark side. I'm gonna have to get my ribbon remover eraser here. Get that adhesive off and had some adhesive on my Versamat, it looks like. Okay. All right. So I'll get this guy. Sorry, this part is the boring part of, don't have a lot that I have to say, I just need to keep working on getting things glued down. We did the light side of Candy Apple. Oops, sorry if I knocked my camera. I felt like I just knocked my camera big time. Okay, light side of peach. Okay. Our paper from our mix-ins. And then our strip on top. And our sangria. I don't know that my spacing is 100% accurate because it looks like I've got some big spaces here, but we will, again, taking my rub and remove and trying to remove that excess adhesive that got on these from my Versamat, or from my all-purpose mat. Okay, all right, so now we've got that side, that paper adhered, but we're going to do some stamping down this right side. And we are going to use our fun little fruit stamps here. And I'm going to use Intense Black ink. And I think I've lost my little stamp pad. Where did it go? This is the second one I've lost today. Oh, there it is. Okay. Probably should just flip over my Versamat, but because I've got my all-purpose mat behind it, I'm not going to do that. Okay, don't stick your finger in the ink pad. That's not a good start. Okay, so we are going to essentially go along this line and we are going to stamp these lovely fruits. And I just want to make sure I'm inking that up well. And then I'm not going to go all the way to the end, but you are going to see my head because I am trying to get to a certain, I'm trying to get it close to that line, but not necessarily on the paper. I have a bit of a glare, so I apologize for my head, but hopefully you can see. And I am pushing down because I was having a hard time getting a good impression with this stamp earlier. Yeah, not getting enough ink on that watermelon, and I think I got too much ink this time. So I pushed a little bit too hard, but we'll see how it comes out. Okay, so we're just going to line this guy up again. And we're going to gently press now because I've got a lot of ink on that watermelon. And I don't want the ink that's stuck in the middle of that watermelon to seep out onto the page. Move this down. Gentle pressure. And we can get one more of these on here. So ink up one more time. And I'm going to go about an hour and a half today, I think. I should just plan on 2 hours. Ah, shoot. Didn't clean up my stamp. Oh well. Little boo-boo, but we might be able to fix that with something else. Okay, I am trying to clean up this stamp well because I got ink in the middle of it. And I'm giving this a chance to dry as well because we are going to do some coloring here in a minute. All right, while we're waiting for this to set for just a moment, I am going to go ahead and grab my pictures that we're going to use for this, and my other title is now missing. Where did it go? Where did it go? Was that the other thing that fell down? All right, I may have to stamp another title because I may have lost my other one when the thing fell down, and I don't see it handy here. Just double check. I'm sure I'll find it as soon as I get off camera. Okay, so since I can't seem to find it quickly, we will stamp it again. So I am grabbing, that will work. I am grabbing the Fun in the Sun title. Oops, looks like my other light ran out of power. And I'm going to put it on my block. Hopefully, yeah, it's still pretty light, so it's not too bad. Okay, and I'm going to grab my Intense Black and my stamp. And I'm going to stamp Fun in the Sun. And this is a solid stamp as well, so I do want to make sure that I give even and full pressure. Rubbing your thumb around it will help as well. And didn't quite get that in again, but so I've been in conference. Our Close to My Heart yearly conference was this past week, and got to have a lot of fun listening to our home office, but also to a lot of the makers out there who are very successful. And it was just a fun week, not only just getting to see new products, but hearing from other people about what they're doing and how they're making their business work. So it's quite fun. All right, so the other thing that we're going to do is we're going to take this lemon wedge, or could be an orange wedge, and we're actually going to stamp Fun. We're going to use and I'm using Canary for this, so I'm going to stamp that. And I'm going to do the Sun as well. And I picked Canary, even though Canary isn't one of the colors I had here. I picked Canary because Lemonade is really light, and I thought I needed something a little bit darker for that to stand out on the white daisy. So that's why I picked Canary. And as you can see, it's going to work just fine. So it's not going to clash or have any issues. The other thing that I thought that I might do is add a few splashes here as well. So, you know, splashes normally I probably would have done in blue, but I'm going to just take the canary again, since I don't have any blue on this layout, and I'm going to just grab my stamp pad. I'm going to just create some splashes kind of around with the yellow. Just to create a little bit of fun. Okay, there we go. And I might add some splashes maybe on the other page as well. That might be another way for me to add some more interest on the other side. All right, so now that we've got our fun in the sun and we've got our pictures, now we have these things to color in. And so I'm going to use, I used intense black ink, so I could color these in. So I have alpine green, dark red blend, and citrus blend. And those were the three colors that I used. So on the apple, I used the mid dark blend, dark red blend. So, and these are alcohol-based markers. This is a bigger area, so short strokes are the best way to color something in if it is a big area like this. So just short little strokes is the best thing to do. And I'm going to just do all of the apples here. And intense black won't bleed, which is why I used it. There is a blog post on Close to My Heart's blog about the different color or the different black inks and what ink to use when. I highly recommend that you look at that blog post if you have any questions about which black to use. I would have done this earlier, but I wanted to show you how to do that inking of the distressed oxides, and so it kind of made it hard to put this layout together beforehand. All right, so greens. So this is the alpine green, and I use the mid for the leaf of the apple. Now this is a smaller space. You could do dots instead of short strokes, so that's an option. All right, so the next one is the pineapple, and we'll come back to the green. And on the pineapple, I'm actually using the dark on the pineapple. And actually, you know what, I'm going to start with the mid, and then I'm going to darken a little bit with the, now you can kind of see this is bleeding a little bit. I didn't let it dry long enough, it doesn't look like. So, again, if you let it dry, it shouldn't bleed, but just something to be aware of. So I'm going to just shade this in a little bit around the outside. I could just dot in each one of these squares, and that will prevent me from creating as much bleeding. So if I just do a bunch of dots around, when your ink is isn't quite dry enough, that will help avoid some of that bleeding that you're seeing in that first one. And really, this is the longest part of having to do this. Time-wise, we'll be over an hour and a half. But I wanted to finish a full layout for once, and I thought I had myself all geared to do it, but I will keep practicing. I have great ambitions, and I just have too much to say, or I create layouts that are a little bit more complex than I thought they would be. This one I thought was going to be simple, but as I started putting it together, I realized that it had all of these different techniques in it, making it much more complicated. But once you get it done, people are going to be impressed by what you did. And again, you can pick and choose which techniques that you want to do. You don't have to do all of them. You could choose not to do this paper tearing, right? That's an extra. You don't have to do that. You could choose to stack them all on top of each other and not create the spaces, creating an easier way and just add some more colors in there, right? That would be fine. I'm going to do the dark green for the pineapple top. And I am doing dots on this one because it is a small space. Yeah, got outside the lines a little bit. All right, so our watermelon. Our watermelon, we're actually going to do multiple colors as well. So the outer rind is going to be, trying to think. On that other one, did we do the dark green? No, we did the mid. Okay, so we're going to do the medium green here on the outer. Part of the not the pineapple, the watermelon. And we'll just go do all three of them at once. Then short strokes give you more control versus long strokes. And alcohol markers, they spread. When you touch them to the paper, it spreads out, which is why you want to do the short strokes. All right, we're going to do the light on the inner ring here. Trying to go too fast. All right, and then for the mid, or for the inside, I'm pretty sure I did the mid. So we're going to grab that, and we're just going to do, again, short strokes and fill in the watermelon. And then we just have the lemon left. And no cutting out. No fussy cutting on this one, just direct to paper. All right, so the lemon is the last one. And the lemon, I think I'm going to do the lemon in the dark. And I could go back and I could grab like an orange or one of the other blenders and you know, create more color. But I'm not an artist, and I have a hard time with just, you know, getting color down, let alone highlights and lowlights and shadows. Never really understood how to do that well, so I'm going to just leave it at that. Again, I'm going to come in with the light green on the lemon leaf here, and we are all colored in. So again, 3 markers is all I use, just the light, mid, and dark, and the citrus blend, the alpine green, and the dark red blend. Sorry, I was getting a bit dehydrated there. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is just put this all together. Okay, so we are going to put down our picture. Again, we're going to go ahead and pop this up just like we did the other one. And then we have our title that we are also going to pop up. And then we have some sequins that we're going to scatter as well. So again, the hard part about the sequins is just kind of understanding. We also need to put a journaling spot on this. I'll have to see where I want to put a journaling spot so that I can write some information down about this. So I am leaving space on either side of this picture, so in case I do want to put a journaling spot, I can tuck it underneath and give some layering there as well, so it's not right up against the edge, and that gives me a place to tuck things. And I'm going to offset this a little bit from, I don't think I'm quite where I want to be, but I might just be stuck there because it's not picking up. Okay, that's one thing about this tape, or the what do we call it, the 3D foam tape, is that usually once it's down, it's down. Sometimes I've been lucky and I can get it up again, but that didn't feel like it was going to come up, and I didn't want to tear the paper. So sometimes it's just where it goes, and you don't try to change it. Okay, so we're going to grab this guy, and where do I want to put it? Just trying to see where do I like it best. I think I kind of like it here. Okay, there we go. And now we can get out some more of these. And this is, again, all we're going to do is just take these guys, and I'm going to just lay a whole bunch of them out and just kind of glue them down. Just trying to get a variety of the white, the pink, and the yellow. And I'm just using my fingers at the moment. I know everything is sticking to them because there's lots of static on them, but I do think it's a little bit easier for me to do it like this. And sequins go a long way. So, you know, when you buy one baggie of these, they definitely don't have a whole lot that you need to worry about, because they go on forever. Okay, that's a few too many whites down here. again, just trying to kind of make it pleasing to the eye. Get different sizes. Make sure we're okay. That looks pretty good. I think I can work with that. Put those away. And then it's a matter, oops, got a whole bunch on my fingers. Okay, we'll just stick those on top there and come back to those later. Okay, so then we're going to grab our glue dots again. Okay, nothing has moved that far. Yeah, we're going to come and we're going to just sort of pick them up and place them down where we had them, because I was actually quite happy with that placement. So the only thing I don't like is that these glue dots are not behaving for me today. A little bit too much glue there showing on that one. Okay. A little bit farther. Alright, everyone else is joined, so there's no questions that I can answer while I'm doing this. Yeah. I'm leaving a space here because I might put like a little tag or something journaling wise or something like that, so I'm going to just leave a little space there because I don't know if I want to put it there or if I want to put it over on the other side. So do like these sequins with this particular layout. I think the yellow and the pink in this particular, oops, that sequence is not supposed to be there. Okay, we may have a sequin stuck there. Okay. We'll have to see if we can dig that out later. All right. One more. Okay. Oops. Got a few more over here. Sorry. Actually, let's put that guy up there and let's move that one down. Down there. Yeah, let's do that. And one more. Okay. All right. So, a little bit of journaling left to do on this, and a little bit of potential other embellishments at this point, but for right now, we are pretty much done. I'm just trying to see if I can get both of these kind of in frame for everybody to see. Like that. Hopefully everyone can kind of see. So anyway, there is our layout, and I do think I'm going to need something up here and down here. Not sure exactly what I want to do yet, but I'll figure it out. And that's, you know, that's a process for me. I don't always get everything on the way I want it to the first time, and I'll come back, I'll step away and I'll come back and look at it and do some additional embellishments. But hopefully this has been fun and interesting, and you got to see how to use paper tearing, the distressed oxides, and a little bit of coloring. So like I said, a lot of little techniques in this one that that you can go back to and take a look at. I will post these up a little later once I sort of finish them, but everyone have a great rest of your weekend. Next week I'll be back, and I believe I'll be working with Isabella, and I may show you a card from this as well, using all these leftover scrap pieces of paper that I have. All right, everyone, have a great rest of your Sunday. I will talk to everyone later. Bye.